As her time as U.S. Director of National Intelligence draws to a close, Tulsi Gabbard has made one final headline-grabbing move. Before leaving office, she dropped a bombshell that has sparked fierce debate online and split Republicans. On June 13th, Gabbard made public a set of declassified records, indicating that U.S. taxpayers' dollars were directed toward over 120 biological research facilities spread across more than 30 countries, including war-torn Ukraine.
After months of searching through intelligence community holdings and files, today I'm releasing new evidence of long-standing U.S. government funding of more than 120 biolabs in over 30 countries. Now, these biolabs include labs in places like Ukraine, which could be at risk of compromise due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. In fact, the intelligence community had previously warned that a U.S.-funded biolab in Ukraine likely housed dangerous pathogens and remained vulnerable to long-standing threats of Russian attack, seizure, or damage.
Tulsi Gabbard is parroting false Russian propaganda. Her treasonous lies may well cost lives. Does the quote ring a bell? If not, Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna did the service. In a post retweeting Mitt Romney's 2022 anti-Gabbard tweet, Luna hailed Tulsi's service and wrote, "The evidence Tulsi released today proves that Mitt Romney is a neocon shill." She also claimed that Democrats, Romney, media outlets, and intelligence officials unfairly portrayed Gabbard as sympathetic to Russia while using Russia-related allegations to advance their own agendas. Now, rewind back to 2022. Senator Mitt Romney sharply criticized Tulsi Gabbard for treasonous lies about U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine and accused her of echoing Russian narratives that could endanger lives. While Tulsi Gabbard did not claim the labs were producing bioweapons, she warned that dangerous pathogens could be released if the facilities were damaged during the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Here are the undeniable facts. There are 25 to 30 U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine. According to the U.S. government, these biolabs are conducting research on dangerous pathogens. Ukraine is in an active war zone with widespread bombing, artillery, and shelling, and these facilities, even in the best of circumstances, could easily be compromised and release these deadly pathogens. Now, like COVID, these pathogens know no borders. If they are inadvertently or purposely breached or compromised, they will quickly spread all throughout Europe, the United States, and the rest of the world, causing untold suffering and death. So in order to protect the American people, the people of Europe, the people around the world, these labs need to be shut down immediately, and the pathogens that they hold need to be destroyed. Instead of trying to cover this up, the Biden-Harris administration needs to work with Russia, Ukraine, NATO, the UN to immediately implement a ceasefire for all military action in the vicinity of these labs until they're secured and these pathogens are destroyed. Now, in addition to all this, the U.S. funds around 300 biolabs around the world who are engaging in dangerous research, including gain of function, similar to the lab in Wuhan, where COVID-19 may have originated from. Now, after realizing how dangerous and vulnerable these labs are, they should have all been shut down 2 years ago, but they haven't. Now, this is not a partisan political issue. The administration and Congress need to act now for the health and well-being of every American and every person on this planet.
Notably, officials in the Biden administration, including Biden's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, repeatedly denied the government's involvement in funding pathogen research and biolabs in Ukraine. Other Biden administration officials argued that the labs were legitimate research facilities focused on tracking infectious diseases and securing biological materials dating back to the Soviet era.
They have a large biological and chemical weapons program. So it's a pattern, but they also have the capacity. While I'm not going to get into specific intelligence, we look at all of those factors. And we also know Russia has a history also of inventing outright lies like this, which is the suggestion that the United States has a chemical and biological weapons program, or Ukraine does, that they're operating. Russia is the country that has a chemical and biological weapons program. So the objective was to make clear the inaccuracy of the information, the misinformation they're trying to put out, and make clear to the world that they not only have the capacity, they have a history of using chemical and biological weapons, and that in this moment we should have our eyes open for that possibility.
Would use of chemical or biological weapons be a red line for the president in terms of direct U.S. involvement in the war over there?
We are directly involved. We are providing $1 billion in security assistance. We are the largest provider of that. We are providing humanitarian. With the U.S. military going and engaging in Ukraine and fighting a war against Russia, we don't have any intention to do that.
I just want to be totally clear. Are you saying if Russia does conduct a chemical weapons attack in Ukraine, there will not be a military response from the United States?
I'm not going to get into hypotheticals. What we're saying right now is they have the capacity and the capabilities. I'm also not going to get into intelligence. But the president's intention of sending U.S. military to fight in Ukraine against Russia has not changed. The president's first and most important objective is the national security and interests of the United States and being clear and direct with the American people. He has been clear and direct with the American people. He is not intending to send U.S. troops to fight in Ukraine against Russia, to start another war, that would be an escalatory step that would not be in our national security interests and not in the interests of NATO.
Notably, when then Senator Marco Rubio asked Biden admins Victoria Jane Nuland about the U.S. funding biological weapons, she acknowledged that Ukraine has biological research facilities and rejected Russian claims about Ukrainian bioweapons, saying any such attack would likely be carried out by Russia. Now, fast forward to May 12th, 2026, when Gabbard released the declassified 4-page documents about U.S.-funded 120-plus biolabs in 30-plus countries. And she also said intelligence officials had warned that dangerous pathogens in the labs could be exposed if the facilities were attacked or seized.
After months of searching through intelligence community holdings and files, today I'm releasing new evidence of long-standing U.S. government funding of more than 120 biolabs in over 30 countries. Now, these biolabs include labs in places like Ukraine, which could be at risk of compromise due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. In fact, the intelligence community had previously warned that a U.S.-funded biolab in Ukraine likely housed dangerous pathogens and remained vulnerable to long-standing threats of Russian attack, seizure, or damage. Now, until now, evidence regarding the full existence and funding of these laboratories had been knowingly withheld from you, the American people. Many of these U.S. government-funded biolabs are currently or have previously engaged in research using hazardous and highly contagious pathogens, and in some cases included dangerous gain-of-function research with very little visibility or oversight. Now, President Trump clearly understands the serious threat dangerous gain-of-function research poses to the American people. And this is why he took decisive action over a year ago. On May 25th, 2025, he signed an executive order to end federal funding of gain-of-function research around the world. Here at DNI, I issued new guidance to the intelligence community directing increased collection on these laboratories and facilities overseas. And we're already seeing the results of this increased collection. We're learning new details, for example, on clinical trials that are underway at these facilities and that are raising significant ethical, financial, and security concerns regarding the supposed public health initiatives and U.S. national security. Now, despite the obvious potential for catastrophic global impact that research on dangerous pathogens in biolabs can have, politicians and so-called health professionals like Dr. Fauci, as well as entities within the Biden administration's national security team, lied repeatedly to the American people about the existence of U.S.-funded and supported biolabs. Not only did they lie, they threatened those who attempted to expose the truth. So this release today breaks new ground, as the information surrounding the existence, history, locations, and funding of these U.S.-funded biolabs has been intentionally covered up by very powerful people who falsely claimed that these biolabs didn't exist. Now, they accuse anyone who says otherwise to be foreign assets and traitors to America. Now, ODNI will continue working closely with partners across the U.S. government to identify exactly where these labs are and what pathogens they contain to end dangerous gain-of-function research that threatens the health and well-being of the American people and people around the world.
With that, the Russian agent Tulsi Gabbard narrative resurfaced online. Many users, including conservative activist Laura Loomer, accused her of spreading, and I quote, pro-Russia conspiracist bullshit one last time before leaving office. Whatever the netizens say, it looks like a win-win for Russia amid the conflict, as Putin's special envoy was seen celebrating the U.S. disclosure in various social media posts, and accused the Biden administration of spreading lies.